What is going on, Beaver Nation? We got a banger of a game for you guys tonight on Monday Night Esports here in the gaming room. I'm joined by my lovely co-caster, Ashton.
What's going on, Kevin?
I'm Rig Pig, and I'm so excited to be back casting with you. After that long break for us, for the players, they haven't been able to play that much, or rather, they haven't had any games the past, week? Or week and a half
so
more,
last
dude?
week Monday they did not play, so I think they've had a little bit of time to recoup their energy, plan out some new strats we might not have seen before, and the map pool is looking like it's the exact same as the last time we casted, Kev. So it'll be interesting to see what they change up for this round of games.
Yeah, the question is, do they have to change anything up, or can they just stick to what they know and improve on what they already did last week? Or maybe they have a few tricks in the bag that we don't know about. There's so much more to observe on the screen than just the 5 players' mechanical skill. There's the in-game leaders, there's the coaches, there's all that planning into how they want to play the maps they want to play, the team compositions they want to play. There's so much more to think about before we get into games like this. I'm sure that they've been resting up and scrimming and VODing the past, 2 weeks since they haven't had a game.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking their nerves are probably well. I don't know how good RPI is. So I know normally, like in Overwatch, when we play against really good teams, the nerves can sort of serve to prevent you from playing well sometimes. So I guess that might also be a factor against RPI. I'm not sure. What do you think?
Honestly, I think that Champlain Valorant is an extremely good team at the moment. They've been popping off recently. The last game that I got to cast with you, they just rolled over 2-0. It was one of the easiest games that I've seen. But at the same time, they also did have a couple scares, a couple moments where they did seem to lose a bit of that grip. But I think they're going to take that. They've definitely done some review of their past games, done some just looking backwards in time, looking at the past to make sure that they don't make those mistakes again, making sure to maybe change up the utility that they use, maybe stagger it a little differently to improve its effectiveness and just everything like that. And I mean, hey, if it keeps working, don't break it just yet. Yeah. Until obviously, unless they did do some demo review on RPI and managed to check out that they did have some countermeasures in part, and then they might have adjusted due to that. I don't know. I'll be interested. RPI is a pretty good school in terms of esports, and we are too. So I'm very interested to see how this game decides to go.
Yeah, that's a good point. I wonder if Champlain goes ahead and does any scouting of the teams they play against, see what they like to play, see what maps they like to play on, see how they like to play. I know we did that last year. The Overwatch team loved to do that, so it'd be interesting to know. I'm focusing on Joey here. I know Joey acts as either a coach or a player. I don't remember if he played the other week.
He played last time we casted, yes.
So what is the dynamic between like being a coach and also being a player?
I think a lot of it comes down to you just kind of have to put a little bit of that coaching side away. I mean, you do have a lot more experience than a lot of the other players, and you are their coach, so there's a bit of that relationship there. But all in all, I mean, Joey's going to be a really superstar this game, like he has been for almost every game, and a really consistent player. And he also, because of the fact that he's also been coaching this team, he knows them all very well, and he knows how to play with them and knows how to motivate them as well, make sure that nobody's mental goes into the garbage. Because once that happens, it gets really tough to build out of it.
Yeah, that's true.
And just making sure that they have the same type of map that they did last 2 weeks ago on Fracture. I mean, granted, I would love to see a little bit more of an interesting close series, but hey, a 2-0 blowout for us is never a bad thing, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think I don't really know. I don't really have anything else to say about these two teams. Like, I haven't seen much from RPI. Like, in my short knowledge of casting, I've only seen the CC team. I've talked to a lot of the players, right? But I haven't actually seen much, besides last week, seen much of them actually in action. But
that's fair. That's fair.
If you have nothing else to say, I think we can cut it to break. And
I am a little bit curious about I'm curious if I remember the comp from last 2 weeks ago.
I'm
a little curious to see how similar it'll be. If I remember correctly, there was a Raze, Chamber, KO, Breach, and I can't remember the 5th one for us. But let's see if they decide to play that again. I mean, that'll be really interesting. Maybe they change up the comp depending on how RPI plays. I mean, that's a big thing. I mean, as we enter into the Frax map,
here we go.
We will be going to agent pick. So my questions will be answered very shortly. And we see that Champlain is starting defender's side with a seeming Brimstone was who was the 5th, so that was seems like a very similar
KO.
pick. They did have Chamber.
Fade.
They had Chamber and Raze last time for Duelist. The core 3, Breach, Brim, and KO are the same, but the Duelist picks might come out to be a little bit differently.
Yeah.
As you can see on the side of RPI, I mean, they're running a pretty standard composition with a Chamber, Brimstone, Breach, Sky, which is an interesting pick, but still never a bad one. I mean, Sky's birds, the pigeons that flash, they are quite dangerous to play against because you can pop those extremely quickly, and it gives you no time to react, and then all of a sudden you're blind.
And Sky, I mean, Jet Jet offers a lot of pop-off potential. If you have a good Jet player with like an op, that can just like shut down the game.
They switched
sometimes.
off of Jet.
Yeah, they swapped.
They might. Okay, so we do see the exact same comp coming out of Champlain as we did 2 weeks ago, which will be very interesting to see if they change up their play style any, because they did not change up their composition. Now, Team RPI Red
Select your agent.
picks a Reyna on Fracture. They don't have the Jet. This is a pretty interesting team comp. It varies a little bit, and I am quite curious to see what direction that this game will head. I mean, with the new Reyna buff that happened, I think, recently. I think it's been about the 2 weeks since.
Really? What was the buff?
It was, it increased the range on Reyna's blind. So it doesn't matter how far away you are, it just blinds regardless whether you
Infinite
see
line of
it.
sight?
Yeah, if it's in your line of sight, you are blind. I don't remember the other changes, but that
Can
was
you
the big
turn around
one.
to dodge it quicken? Like, is it?
It
So is it
lasts
sort of
for too long if you turned around.
Wow.
You have to shoot it. Otherwise, you're just kind of left in the dark, literally.
So I guess the skill comes into where can the player place it to make it the hardest for the enemy to shoot? Because that gives them the most amount of time to secure the kill, right?
Yeah. And then how difficult can you make it for the person you're blinding to flick up, break the flash, and then flick back down into proper crosshair placement to finish off, or to just stop a rush.
Yeah, I mean, crosshair placement, I feel like that's the majority. I'll say majority, but like that's where a lot of the mechanical skill comes out.
This map has changed. They have updated Fracture since the last time we saw this. Dish does not have that right side.
All of CC can encloses on Diggy, oh my god.
All of them wrap around to the opposite side of defender spawn, but RPI Red have read this and are going towards A through the A main site, smoking off drop.
Yeah, a lot of utility coming out here. As you saw, CC were able to just all players were able to just enclose on that player of RPI there and take him out so early on.
That was a really beneficial pick. I mean, having a retake 4-on-5 situation is extremely beneficial because you get to cover a lot of ground. You get a lot of different angles that the opposing team has to cover. But I mean, 4 players on a retake to deal with 3 players now is actually 2 players now left.
Tio manages to pick up 2. Champlain is just able to rampage storm onto the point now.
No flawless, but the defuse comes in and a shot through the smoke by Webby finalizes the round.
That was such a good, well-placed smoke there by Sebi. I think that entire time that they were pushing onto the point, Sebi had that choke smoked off. That denied so much line of sight for RPI to even attempt to come back. And
those types of smokes are just so difficult to push through. I mean, you push through that without any sort of assistance, and you're just left completely clueless, and you can walk out and you can see 4 people right in front of you just aiming right at your head, and you're not getting out of that situation.
It's a massive advantage for the attacking team that's on the other side of that smoke that placed it there.
You can see a lean more towards B site from RPI. We have a 2-2 with a Reyna lurk going towards A, trying to maybe catch a little bit of over-aggression from Champlain. Nobody spotting each other quite yet. Luxy as KO potentially very quickly could spot RPI's chamber. They're just sitting there. They're having the dance. Luxy's right
I wonder,
around the
do they
corner.
know that Luxy's there? Are they going to be able to flush him out?
They might not.
Yeah, it looks like 3 unsuspecting
He's
players of
sitting
RPI.
in dice, and nobody knows. He's got a. I don't even know if he knows. They've all been silent. Luxy getting one with a stinger. Picks off Diggy.
The smoke
Gets
comes
a
down.
three-piece.
Oh my god. OG
Joey
pushes right through the smoke and finds
Gets
one.
picked off by Moses, but now his location's revealed. Webby cleaning up with a quick headshot. Luxy with that quick
Clean.
three-piece. They had no idea he was there. There was no shot.
That was a clean round from Champlain. I love the way that we saw OG after the 3K from Luxy. The smoke came down right in front of him and he just pushed right on through it. It's like they don't even care. So they're so confident in their play.
Champlain clearly understanding the recent patch notes that have come out. The Stinger getting a buff and Fracture having a couple map changes clearly under their belt. They're going into a bonus round.
Yeah, the site A and B on this map. It seems like they're such close quarters.
Teal eating that stun.
Yeah, I guess
Calling the bluff.
it was kind of just a fake there.
Jump spots, doesn't see anybody, prompting a rotation off of A as he pushes up deeper. RPI not really taking a whole lot of space, although Champlain seems to be rotating more towards an A hit.
Yeah, RPI is rotating her back to A though.
It's a little interesting because nobody on B, Luxy or Webby, have any sort of information. Sebi or Luxy. Luxy is all the way under tunnel. Forgive me for that I misspoke.
Yeah, the rotation's got to come out quick now.
He does have information. He is completely clearing off B main, allowing for Sebi to rotate off into the spawn, the defender spawn. RPI almost out onto the site. Not quite. They swarm the site. All 5 players. It's a 3v5 in the way of RPI with the gun advantage. This was to be expected.
It's going to be a rough retake for Champlain here, though.
Extremely with the gun disadvantage. It's really difficult to fight those longer angles. Let's see if we can get Champlain can get any guns off of them at all. Luxy taking one gun away.
That could be what they need.
Potentially being able to pick it up and doing something with it. Gets spotted. Bang, shot right through the box. Doesn't quite manage to pick up another
get the exit
one.
frag.
And that is the typical round rotation that Valorant has. And now both teams are on equal footing in terms of economy.
So I'm wondering, was that a rotation issue? Could the 2 players from B maybe have gotten in and made a play earlier, or was there just not enough players A at the start?
I think the only way Champlain had our chance there with the gun disadvantage is to hide in rat corners, just kind of these really close range angles. I mean, they had SMGs which really flourish in shorter distance fights because of the high fire rate, but because of their high spread and their high bloom and the bullets not exactly going exactly where your crosshair is due to recoil and just the game gun mechanics, it's really difficult for them to win over the really precise rifles that RPI did have. Gadget gets broken down at A dish. RPI's breach in sky, breaking it and seeming to rotate backwards a little bit, watching for a flank because they know that Sebi could push through arcade. They start rotating through their secondary spawn, walking up.
Yeah, I think those 2 players we see at the top of the minimap, they're just sort of gaining information. I'm wondering if they're probably going to end up deciding to go for a B take.
They are definitely leaning into a B take unless some miracle happens over on the A side for RPI, but as it stands right now, Luxy.
It's Luxy and Sebi alone here.
RPI rotates 2 off again, 3.
Yeah, they're rotating away from B now.
They're really trying to find anything right now. They're trying to find any sort of. They ult B.
But meanwhile,
pulling
Teal's
the
able to
rotate
double.
over. Teal gets 2, kind of signifying where RPI might be feeling to go. Luxy goes down with his ult, pushed up under tunnel. Joey also goes down at drop.
Yeah.
Teal.
OG just jumped right into the line of fire, and Teal
picks up 3, picks up 4.
One enemy remaining.
That was
This
nice
could be Teal's
crosshair
ace,
placement.
although the breach for RPI just seems to be saving.
Yeah,
their
so
spawn, the smart decision.
I'm wondering what was going through RP's mind there. So they got the information from like the top side of spawn, right? And then they rotated, and it seemed like they were posturing towards B, but then they sort of like drifted back towards A, and then they seemed to like slowly get picked off from there.
There's a little bit of indecisiveness coming from the side of RPI. I mean, they did a really good job trying to poke and prod, but Champlain just didn't really give any info. They didn't use a whole lot of utility to stop that, to give any sort of edge to RPI in terms of where to push. I mean, if once you've used a bunch of utility on a site as a defender and you have no utility left, that is the perfect time for the attackers to push because they have nothing to contest again besides gunfights. And in that theoretical situation, they would have the utility advantage, but RPI just not able to bait out any util for Champlain, ultimately leading to that round going in the way of Champlain. Now, as we can see this round, RPI pushing up in an A split, splitting between the two entryways.
Maybe a 2v2 little skirmish here in this hallway. Could hope for some action early in the round. As we do get some action as Moses peeks, but OG manages to trade out 2. On this side of the map, though, Diggy's able to
Picks
find
up
Webster.
2 in A main. Bomb is dropped.
Ooh, that's
falls
close.
to the breach.
I wonder how you pronounce it. Maybe it's... Yeah, I mean, that's probably the closest we could get.
Luxy flanking their spawn, picks up...
It goes down, dude.
Spike. And now Sebi knows exactly where the spike is going to be. Baits out a shoulder peek from the enemy chamber, and now they have all the information on where he is.
Yeah, they're going to make that quick rotation to B.
Luxy falling back, knowing that they have to go for the spike, gets a flash ready, peeks off the flash, does not blind Diggy quite enough, and gets absolutely demolished.
I love these 1v1 situations. If RPI could secure an early pick here, but Diggy's gonna walk right into the embrace of Sebi. With his knife out, Sebi has the rifle directly pointed at him, and he just executes him.
Sebi almost with a dangerous whiff against Diggy, almost giving him an opportunity to fight back.
Do you think if Diggy had his, what weapon did he have?
If Diggy had his gun out, just regardless of what it was, he would have had that, but he was not expecting Sebi to have rotated from the defender's spawn ropes area all the way behind into like deep B main, which that happened all quite quickly actually. I think Luxy might have been delaying a little bit for that because they knew that the last time they saw Sebi was up in ropes, which would prompt them to go towards the opposite side. Joey getting one with the chamber up.
Not even 5 seconds into the round, dude.
With an instant peek.
That's Cypher ultimate, dude.
Or I think that was drop. I don't really know where. No, it looks like A main because his chamber trip is down dish. So he probably they're playing off of that, making sure nobody pushes that.
Yeah.
A 5v4 in the way of Champlain. How do you think this is gonna go?
Well, I think right now Champlain, after that first pick, they're just holding their angles. They got that. Our Beavers in blue right now. They got that proverbial dam built up around both these points. They're not doing anything greedy. But meanwhile, Diggy manages to peek Teal.
Peeking away at the wrong time, leaving Teal out to dry.
So far, it's both aces on each team managing to find these entry frags. OG peeks wide on Diggy, who has no idea where OG could have been peeking from. Now, does OG know that someone else is?
He saw a shoulder cross over for sure.
Few warning shots. He's saying, don't come towards my dam. We are set in here. This is a bastion of defense right now from Champlain. And he's just warding off. But finally, Auntie J peeks, and OG's just able to 2-tap him. Oh. He saw his shoulder, shoots early, but then Brandon just peeks and dies.
OG hits the shot on the shoulder through the wall, not quite killing him.
Did he miss the first shot or did it hit?
No, he hit the first shot because the health went all the way down to like 10.
Yeah.
But it doesn't quite do enough damage if it's through a wall. But Brandon hoping to catch Joey a little bit off guard after the shot because, you know, it is a sniper rifle. It's bolt action. There's a little bit of a window where you could swing, but the chamber, the chamber off just too quick on that reload. Doesn't give you a whole lot of time to work with. You have to be on point.
Yeah, that's true. And the value of Chamber is that, like, you don't really need to waste as much eco with him because he does just sort of have those 2 free weapons at times.
I mean, that's just a free 4,700
in
guns. Diggy picking up Webby, but Teal getting 2 and the trade.
Yeah, you don't want to...
Champlain in a 4-on-3, Sebi getting 1.
RPI is just getting outgunned here right now, just mechanically, mechanical differential right now.
The one thing I'm noticing with RPI is they seem to be just peeking very solo. I mean,
it's free. It's free.
Luxy using his KO flash, able to peek into under tunnel and just picks off 2 with a really close spray because of how in close proximity they were, not using proper spacing. I mean, RPI really looking like they're just not doing all that great. I mean, they're peeking things one at a time. They're allowing Champlain the luxury as you might even want to put it,
Yeah.
to just take all of these fights one-on-one duels. They're not using the attacking advantage of being able to peek with more people. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
whole
true.
point of attacking side. You overwhelm one of the sites.
Yeah.
If your gunplay is not up to par, you force it. You
Right.
2v4 them. You 4v2 them so that there's two people to one defender, and that's
Right.
how you win over these gunfights. If you keep 1v1ing the mechanical strength of Champlain, this map is going to be over in no time if that keeps happening.
Yeah, I mean, before the round started, like, or before
Joey
the game
getting a
started,
pick on Sky.
I talked about,
in Dish.
I mentioned maybe Champlain had some nerves going into this, but I think it's that idea is completely flipped on its head. I think it's RPI that are nervous going into this map right now.
RPI looks unbelievably passive as an aggressive side. They're respecting Champlain at every turn.
Yeah.
And in turn, as well as that, Champlain just gets to do whatever they want. They throw down utility. RPI doesn't react, although Teal gets caught up by Moses, hyper aware of that corner camp. But Joey
That was a nice shot from Moses.
picks up one, teleports out with not a whole lot of damage taken, ready for the repeak, just out of range of the eye, hidden.
I mean, I guess they traded, but trading's not really what you want to be doing when you're already down a player.
Webby
Webster's just going to outgun Foozed across the map.
With a good burst as well.
Yeah.
I mean, now it's
great recoil
Now
control.
it's Diggy
30 seconds
and
left.
Moses
One enemy remaining.
just split halves.
down A.
Diggy's ideal situation here is to maybe get one more, maybe
Yeah,
save.
maybe he could get an entry frag or something, or I mean an exit frag or something. He peeks his head over, Sebi sees it, and he just crosshair right on the money.
This game just honestly looks like a piece of aim labs. Like I feel like they're in a deathmatch right now. Like they're really not.
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at Luxy, he's died once, and it's been 9. This is the 9th round. We're going into round 9, and Luxy has died once. RPI really just making themselves look like a shooting gallery out right now.
They need to find, like, RPI needs to do something to reestablish tempo in their favor, because they're either playing too passive, or when they do peak and finally do something to try and reestablish some tempo in their favor, they just get outgunned, or they trade negatively, or they trade when they're already down players, and it's just not working out for them.
And this is their pick. This map is their pick, just as we saw 2 weeks ago. Just Champlain
I'm getting
utterly
deja
ready
vu,
for
Ashton.
fracture picks. I was afraid of this because they looked so dominant on that
Oh.
pick. Teal coming out with the ult.
Teal just launches
Gets one.
straight in, manages to
Doesn't
find
quite
one.
get two. Moses actually pulling his weight for a
Finally
little bit
trades
of time.
out. It's an even trade out finally for RPI. Webster caught in a smoke.
3v4 for the side of RPI. Finally a round looking like it could go their way. Plant going down. Champlain stuck in a retake scenario coming from one side of the site.
Yeah, flash comes out.
Flash out.
With the
Ult
smoke
out,
from RPI's
stim
breach
out.
here. They gotta walk through
Webby
it.
gets one. Aftershock.
Sebi meanwhile.
Sebi also getting one. Webby gets flashed by this guy.
Yeah, there was some contact
Sebi
there.
sticking the defuse. They can't get
Oh,
there in time.
oh,
He's behind a knockdown wall.
oh
And they
my
win the
God.
round off of the defuse. Sebi picks up one.
What a heads-
Doesn't quite get Diggy,
That's-
but
That's such a heads-up play
that's
from
such an
Sebi.
unfortunate misplay. I mean, really well played by Champlain to clear out the back of sight, and unfortunately for RPI, the two left standing just were not in the right positions to clear out the defuse.
Yeah, that was such a heads-up play there from
Serious
Sebi.
misplay.
And God, just like look at this kill feed right now. Auntie J, he needs to. I think Auntie J really needs to start pulling his weight at least, getting a few frags up on the board maybe, because
The confidence is just not there for
Yeah,
any of
you're
them, to
right.
be honest. I mean, like we were all saying, they're playing just so slow, so passive. There's no explosivity. There's no explosiveness. There's no element of surprise. It's
Yeah.
just they linger. They trudge their
Luxy-
way through the mud. Luxy just
Yeah.
walks up Arcade and catches Brandon off guard.
yeah,
I guess.
Brandon ziplined from the other side of spawn there, and then he just sort of dawdled there. And I mean, Luxy's there. Luxy was just sort of slowly rotating. He had his crosshairs in the right places as he rotates, because that's sort of what you want to do when you rotate.
They completely clear out the backside of attacker spawn. RPI really just not looking ready for engagements. I mean, it kind
Yeah.
of looks like they're half asleep clearing these angles. I mean, Moses with one good clear on Teal about 2 rounds back, but other than that, I mean, these guys took a
Moses
NyQuil before
just-
they played this game.
Moses, Auntie J, like they're beamed right when they
book
walk.
it. I'm almost 100% certain that Webby heard some footsteps coming out of the A main, running away. Luxy
Yeah.
rotating under tunnel. He's gonna try and probably attempt. He's gonna probably attempt a flank here. trying to catch them as they rotate out
seconds
towards B. I don't know if RPI's breach will be ready for this. I'd hope so, because Luxie's been playing there every round almost as soon as they lose.
It looks like
B
CC,
control.
they're slowly enclosing on the enemy that's pushing towards B here.
The tight grip of the Death Reaper by Luxie.
Ensnared by the Beavers in blue, and now it's up to the ace. He's just going to save. He has to save.
Their economy, they waste so much time. You see that so many of these rounds come down to the seconds.
Yeah, like...
They ran out of time. They keep running out of time, and then they have to make mistakes.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you play so passively and you let the time get to a certain point, then you just put yourself at a disadvantage because now you're playing against the clock. That's something you don't want to be doing. You want to do everything in your power to not be doing that. And that's ideally why you do planning, why you do VOD reviews, why you do theory crafting, why you think about the maps you're going into. And that's just... It's even more sad to hear that it's their map pick.
Champlain just looks like they're having a field day playgrounds playing against a middle school team. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, like, with just the way that RPI just seems so scared to use utility, scared to peek angles, scared to really just take any sort of map control. I mean, you see Joey in arcade, he's just pushing with an op.
Yeah, I think that just shows you the confidence that Joey has.
Gets one on Moses. RPI just... Their confidence isn't there. They're not hitting any shots. They're giving Champlain free gunfights.
Like, didn't RPI, like, they tried to double peek Luxie, but, like, he just got the pick anyway.
Good shot by Brandon, crash peeking under Luxie's crosshair. He needed that one.
There we go. We need to see more of that from RPI if they want to pull some rounds back.
A good flash by Brandon, catching Sebi
backs
out,
off, though.
Sebi's it's just ready. That's not, like, all that difficult of a flick. The thing that I'm noticing with RPI is, I don't know if it's the headphones that I'm wearing, but they don't seem to be making a whole lot of sound. They seem to just be walking into these engagements. I mean, Valorant's movement is already so slow. If you're walking into these engagements, it gives Champlain, who are holding angles on you, who see your shoulder peek before you see them at all, so much time to react. So much time to just line up their shot leisurely, like it's a Sunday afternoon at a brunch. Like... They need to just pick up the pace, start like really like jiggling them, like really using some of that speed, some of that aggression in their peaks. I mean, look, we're running out of time again, and Diggy's just forced to save.
Yeah, it's been a common theme right now. As Champlain, as they either outgun.
Webby stuns his teammates.
That's a nice little BM we like to see there from Webster.
Picking off Sebi as he lurks a little bit too deep into. Yeah, exit frags as he lurks a little too deep into the attacker spawn, but it's not a whole lot going on this game.
I think at least Diggy and Moses are kind of pulling their own weight. Well, I mean, Diggy's the only one that's not negative right now on RPI, and just barely. Meanwhile, no one
saved for like 4 rounds.
Yeah, he's also played very passive. Meanwhile, like Champlain, none of them are negative.
Champlain with a little bit of a gamble stack towards B main, gonna try and take this control really quickly.
What is the flash lineup going to?
RPI just gets gunned down by Sebi and Joey.
Did the Champlain KO line up a flash while they pushed?
Yes.
Across map.
Now, I'm not sure exactly how that altercation occurred, but Champlain is now down 3.
Here we go.
RPI finally getting the bomb down for what seems.
He saw an unsuspecting Diggy around the corner.
Teal.
Oh, look at this. The execution.
That does not.
Brandon takes him out.
Even fair. It's not fair.
He held the trigger just in case any more unsuspecting victims walked in, so he could have gotten like a double. He's able to just walk up.
That he had the most amount of time to catch them unaware.
Yeah.
I would have, honestly, if that was me, I might have even rid the road up silently. The rope ups, you can kill the chamber on the floor, quickly rotate to the other part of heaven.
Yeah, the speed.
Tower.
It was such he did it so successfully and fast too that like no one had time to use their utility to flash him coming up the zip line.
And even when they did, like he just won the gunfights. I mean, that is the common theme that we're seeing right now. RPI playing too slow, not winning their gunfights, not using enough utility from what at least I'm seeing. Honestly, I'm quite dumbfounded that they even got the B site with such a heavy stack and a flash lineup as well. So good on them.
Yeah.
But I don't think that this map is going their
Hawk's
way,
gonna
or
come
at least
out.
the way that they wanted it all. Diggy picking up Joey with a chamber headhunter.
Yeah, look
Actually, a nice shot coming out from the defender's side. Getting the dink off is Teal onto Brandon. Nade in. Paint shells finishing him off as a secondary frag goes out.
Yeah, RPI
Diggy
finally.
stunned.
I mean, they're storming their way onto point,
And
but
Champlain has the site in a 4v4 retake. Sebi
managed to pick up
picking up
one.
a couple kills. Teal, Sebi, Webby all at once. Picking
Sebi
up
Webby!
frags.
The Sebi Webby duo, it's all up to
And
Fizz.
Teal,
He can't do anything.
they're having fun right now.
All I'm here, like, when I hear you guys, the CSGO players play, I hear you guys uproarious after you win a round or something in there. For them, it's just, woo!
It's just casual. They do this on the daily.
Yeah, it's very casual, it's very calm, it's very collected.
It's like a Monday morning grocery run for them. It's just something that you gotta do. You gotta get out the way.
Yeah, it's just a day at the shooting range right now for Champlain. I mean, they're able to do whatever they want right now.
They have full control, full confidence, full just every mental advantage you can think of right now is going in the way of Champlain, and RPI is going to have to really bounce back.
Beavers just rush
Teal
straight onto
picking
Diggy.
off right before the teleport can take him away. That is unfortunate.
Oh, bye,
Webby
Auntie.
pushes through the smoke and just sprays Auntie down. Auntie has not gotten a kill this game.
Auntie's just getting caught with his pants down.
Getting Sebi, but Teal picking up two. Not quite a trade.
There we go,
with another
Brandon.
one, but Joey finalizing the game 13-1. That was a really one-sided game, and frankly, I didn't quite enjoy watching that beatdown.
I mean, I do love to, since we are biased, right? Like, we are the Champlain casters. I love seeing Champlain being
0-14 on Auntie J. That's just, I feel bad. I feel really bad.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. I mean, Diggy was holding in his PL game.
Like, I love the fact that we won that so decisively because it really shows just how good we are. Actually, I don't even know if it shows how good we are as a team. For just absolute, like, destruction. I don't know, but let's throw it to the break.
Yeah,
we
let's throw it to the break.
This.
I mean, there's nothing more we need to cover, guys. I mean, you've seen it. We've gone over it. It's just, it's a skirmish. It's a smash out here.
Peace. All right, and we are back. That was a little bit of a difficult game for RPI, to say the least. I mean, that's really unfortunate. I feel like their mental cannot be the best right now, which is really unfortunate going into Champlain's map. I am curious, though, if history repeats itself, which it seems to be doing a little bit right now, Ascent should at least be a closer game, which I would be so excited to watch. I mean, I'm really excited to see how Champlain is able to use their map pick to get some rounds to, like, just show off their knowledge for the game. But I'm also curious to see how RPI takes this map into their hands, because they really were just not able to, like, grasp Fracture the way that they probably wanted to. Just really just unfortunate, because I know how that feels, losing 13-1 and just not having the game that you really expected to have. So I'm really hopeful that maybe RPI can maybe pick it up this map and show us a good game.
Yeah, on the topic of mental, something that one of my old coaches used to always tell me is that, like, if you have a rough, maybe first map, even first two maps in, like, a best of 5, just treat every map like it's the first map, you know what I mean?
Oh, of course.
So you don't let it affect your mental. Because
that's a really smart way of looking at it. I mean, RPI really just, after that last map, they really need to go into this map going, all right, guys, fresh mind, we're all good. That map was a fluke. We get them now.
Yeah.
That's the mentality that they need to have. That map was just unlucky for them. They might have, you know, they might have had the nerves, a little bit of shakiness to them, just not as coordinated as they wanted to be because of maybe some mental fog.
Yeah.
I'm unbelievably confident that RPI should be able to go into Ascent looking a lot better as they've gotten that first map out of the way. Those first map jitters are real, and I think this map is going to be a lot better of an indicator of both of the team's skill levels. And here we have agent picks. So as we see coming out on Ascent, the agent picks for Champlain are the exact same as they were last time. And coming out of RPI, a Killjoy, which will be very interesting to see where they decide to play that. Omen, Jet, KO, Sova. No Chamber, which I'm a little bit curious about because Chamber is still pretty busted in the meta, although I do like the Sova pick quite a lot for information on this map.
So the Killjoy, I guess that gives them a lot more like area control, right? The Killjoy ultimate, the turrets.
Yeah, the Killjoy, not even just the Killjoy ultimate, the turret gives RPI such like an advantage as they can leave the turret somewhere and keep that map control, keep that information going, and I think that's a really smart pick for them for this map. I mean, we saw them losing a bunch of map control in Fracture, and I think having a Killjoy there can kind of substitute as a sixth player, which they might find some real benefit out of and could seriously feel a little bit more comfortable and less claustrophobic in what map knowledge they have, so they have a little bit more free-flowing movements and they'll feel more comfortable going for map control. KO Knife coming out in B main.
OG's gonna get scouted though, and he's great teleport.
OG getting tagged with a bit of ESP through the wall, knowing
he has to go for a little bit of
knows
space.
where they are. Luxy getting one on Omen, but gets traded out instantly by RPI's Sova. They push into market and catch OG.
Nice.
Webby, a little bit late on the flank.
Right to Diggy. Oh, Diggy wins the gunfight.
Picking up one, like I was saying, RPI looking to have a lot better of a game if pistol round is seemingly any indication. A 2v4, soon to be retake on the side of Champlain. Teal might not check this angle. This might be really good for, but he's worried about it.
He sees him.
He sees it, picks up.
That was so beautiful. He saw his shoulder. He jiggled back, and then peeked wide, and then that's when he took the advantage and took the shot.
That did use a little bit of time. Sebi with a nice shot on Moses, picking up one more, making it even, bringing it to another nice one tap by Sebi. I mean, those are just some really nice shots coming out.
But Teal has his teammate covered. I love the trust there from both Champlain players. Hey, dude, stick it, I'll cover you. All right, and then boom, that's all you need, trust in your teammates.
I mean, Sebi clearly after Teal's last game has to have some trust in his mechanics, especially on pistol round, which is such an overly mechanical round in any tactical economy-based first-person shooter because of the lack of utility. It really does come down to that raw precision. RPI looking a little bit stronger in how they take that map control, although pistol round didn't quite go their way. They seem to have bought.
That was a good round for RPI. Like that was a lot closer of a round for RPI than like anyone's fast. Wait, RPI or
RPI
Champlain?
has bought up. They don't get tagged by Webby's KO Knife.
That's
maybe luring Champlain into a false sense of security, but with the buy-up, they're on even terms.
Look at how stacked they are right now. I'm wondering if they want to like go for a rush play, but no, the Killjoy is
very good decision economically, catching Champlain off guard. I mean, the typical economy play you do is if you lose pistol round, you don't buy. OG with a nice shot onto Diggy, but Diggy did not leave without some damage.
I feel like Diggy had to win that gunfight there. He was the only one that was rotating to take any sort of like flank, so he had to win that 1v1.
That Champlain has now. They know that they have all the beats. Teal picking up one in the smoke. Luxy picking up another A main. RPI just going through a singular funnel. Gets a little bit of damage off on Teal.
Both
Teal
players
picks
gonna
up
get
one
tagged
more.
up.
Grenaded trade. But Sebi clearly rushing out onto J. That was RPI's forced to save after that.
The Jet on the side of RPI, they sort of just like dashed into the middle of point and got gunned down. I feel like Champlain is utilizing terrain so much better than RPI. Like I feel like I'm seeing so many more RPI players get caught out in open space, more so than Champlain. And like open space is just a death sentence if you don't have your crosshair exactly where you need it to be to take out the enemy, right? So I mean, that was a great round from Champlain. I want to see RPI utilize the cover a little bit more. OGE, he's going to graze the side of Diggy's ear, it looked like, but Diggy's going to manage to back off.
RPI running a pretty safe default. Teal getting caught out by the Omen. They know he's there now. Taking a couple pop shots through the smoke on the way of either side.
He's going to back off Archers now.
OG getting one pick out in market, taking away the info player for RPI. Or one of them, because KO technically still can, but
I mean, he has the tripwire there for an info if someone walks through. I guess he just has to sit pretty, hold this angle right now.
Slowing down a little bit, but they seem to be leaning towards the correct site for them to be pushing.
Yeah.
RPI's KO could push into tree and give Champlain a false sense of what they're trying to hit, although with presence shown B main, our Champlain might start to rotate with the dog out.
That's good information. I'm wondering how many players does Luxy know were in that tunnel? He knows that someone was there.
He knows only one.
Only
but
one?
the Haunt catches nobody, so he can rightfully assume that they've rotated out and Champlain...
Look at these teleports that OG has set up.
RPI's KO is all the way through their spawn.
One tapped.
RPI's KO is through Champlain's spawn.
Can we get another one tap? And OG,
Does not manage to pick up Webby through their spawn. That was such a good lurk by Fasud, but Webby just able to outgun. I'm not sure how that altercation turned down, but Teal catching 2
Ensnared.
Deegs. 3-0, Felino's flawless.
Felino's flawless! I almost forgot. We finally got one. I'm glad that we're not gonna go.
We're not hungry.
Yeah, I'm glad.
We're not going hungry.
We're not going hungry, dude. But I love the way that OG, like Champlain, like they know when to be aggressive too. Like they were up picks there, and like OG got smoked off. But and he still, like, normally you think like, oh, that's their advantage. Like, don't push through the smoke. But like Champlain knows they have the player advantage, and like they know that they're coming in from different angles. Like, just push through the smoke and push with your team and catch RPI out.
I do really like how RPI is playing Ascent. I feel like they do seem a little bit more comfortable now. Just really interesting to see, and I'm really curious.
Yeah, but is it enough though? Like, they need to start getting some rounds on the board here.
Haunt gets destroyed without any information given. They know at least one player's in there. OG gets tagged by the Sova drone and backs off into the corner. TP's over to Market, so they don't quite know where he is. Moses picks off Luxy. The B site is almost completely
Contact
open.
gonna be here soon between Webster and Auntie J.
picking up Webby. It's a 3v5 to the way of RPI, and they have...
There we go, Auntie. That's exactly what we need from you, dude.
That is exactly what we needed. Diggy picking up one as well. Teal catching
Traded
Diggy
out.
back with the trade. 2v4. Champlain rotating off of the B site.
Seems
But
like
RPI's jet is all the way through the site. I'm not sure.
As RPI rotates to A, I'm looking
Joey
at...
might get caught off guard, and he does by Moses. Teal.
Yeah, I'm looking at this jet player right now.
Trying to take this gunfight, but gets caught RPI with their first
What
round.
a flank from the jet from a RPI. Like, that's exactly what they need to do. They need to...
I've seen that twice in a row now. Their KO walk through our spawn. Their KO walk through Champlain's spawn. Jet walk through mid, the KO, and then their jet walk through B site and catching their spawn. They're doing a lot better, and I think this might just be down to the map itself as well. They're doing a lot better finding gaps in Champlain's defense, and although maybe not all the time abusing that, this round, the round that we just had, they were able to finally use that map control to really catch Champlain off guard, which is really exciting to see for them after such a difficult map on Fracture.
Yeah, and I like the jet pick from Moses, and as I say that, OG just lobs Moses' head off, or rather, through the chest probably, but I still do like the jet pick. I mean, it provided them that one round before. Maybe it like gave Moses a little bit more confidence to go on that flank last round, but it didn't seem to pay off this round as he dies early. I mean, that's a good early pick now. It seems like Champlain, they just sort of have to sit, fortify their proverbial dams, as I said earlier, build up around the point. Looks like they're not going for anything greedy. They're holding their angles right now. Teal has a nice little like pixel angle there on that archway. Webster has his back here.
RPI just a little bit too spread out right now for what they're doing. I mean, they're gaining a bunch of map control, which is exactly what they need to be doing in this scenario, and I feel like they're leaning a little bit towards a B hit with the spike on the side of B main. They smoke off Market to gain a little bit more mid control and be able to walk up. Enemy RPI's Killjoy fakes an A presence, and it works, pulling 4 of the Champlain members onto the A site. The B site, they smoke off B site CT, and Champlain starts to rotate. They need to get onto the site. They need to take out Luxy. They need to find. They find him. They start trying to shoot through the walls at him.
Yeah,
OG
RPI.
picking up Fasud, Luxy picking up Auntie J.
10 seconds.
RPI just not able to manage to pick off the Champlain members the way that they wanted to for that. They get the spike down. That's a little bit of extra cash. Brandon picking off Sebi. Luxy trading him out. Diggy stuck in the corner of B main and gets picked off by Teal.
I like the idea. Like, on paper, that's a really good plan. Like,
fundamentally, that was a really good play. I feel like the Omen Smoke CT might have given it away a little bit too early, though.
Yeah, they tried.
But there was nothing that they didn't know that nobody would be holding there. If anything, that's exactly where somebody would be holding, and that it gave away the fake, which is really unfortunate. But they played that correctly. They
Yeah.
played that as correctly as they could, but they just got a little bit outmaneuvered by Champlain, which is
Yeah, RPI trying to breach through the dam that the Beavers in blue had set up
chipping
on
away.
B there. They're chipping away slowly, you know. But I mean, they got to start getting some of these early rounds into their favor. 'cause it's
Champlain
still
with a
4-1.
really stellar defense, though, at the moment. Although they
Yeah.
do seem a little bit too eager to rotate, but they're quite easy to rotate back whenever
Luxy
at the
has to back
slightest
off.
hint of danger. Let's see if RPI can abuse this. Teal catching Diggy in A main. Little does Champlain know that entire side of the map is unoccupied.
I'm looking at how OG is able to control this lane with his op
Smoking
here.
off market.
Okay, all of RPI is rotating towards mid right now. And Auntie J finds one.
picking up a second kill. This is a stark contrast from the
Yeah.
Fracture game. He seems a lot more in his element.
Nice succinct rotation from RPI. Catches
Very quick, aggressive push through tree. This is something we have not seen before, and it is working. Teal
about
stuck
to be
in
up
the
close
smoke.
and personal.
Doesn't quite catch Vasud, but now he
Unsuspecting
does.
Zzz goes down.
All of them stuck
That's three.
generator.
Can he get a fourth?
Teal
Oh,
catching 3,
my
catching
God.
4. Joey
OG,
stealing the ace off of Teal. Teal cannot be happy about that, but
OG
again,
and Joey just ensnared and decimated
what I'm
RPI.
seeing right now is just RPI fundamentally is making the correct map choices. They are just getting outgunned. As unfortunate as it is, they're making the right choices and getting punished for it regardless.
Yeah,
That's really upsetting if you're RPI.
like, if I'm thinking about like team play from both these teams, like RPI, like we've seen sparks of it with like the Killjoy fake and stuff, but like Champlain just does it in so much like better, smaller bursts with their rotations on their retakes. Like it seems like when they ensnare the players of RPI, like they're there at the same time to catch the players out.
They just always seem to like. They might not be like one step up. They might not be like at the same level, but they're always at least a step behind, which is completely close enough for Champlain. Webby, Teal picking
Nice.
up 2.
Spike down mid.
Teal feeling overly confident on this Ascent map due to their pick as well, and he's feeling really good off of Fracture.
Yeah, Teal and
they
OG
just
walk on
up and
Fizz.
overwhelm. I love that name.
All up to the Killjoy of Diggy right
Diggy
now. And
having to pull anything out of his bag of tricks.
Felino's
And
flawless!
Felino's Flawless comes through from Luxy.
Nom nom, I'm hungry. We're getting more Felino's flawless under
There
the
does
books
there
right
does
now.
seem to be two things: a confidence diff,
Yeah.
and frankly, Teal going 14-2. There does just seem to be
mean-
a bit of a mechanical diff as well at the moment.
I mean, I talked earlier before the game started. I talked about the factors that go into like what essentially like plays into a game of Valorant, and it seems in every sort of in every area, Champlain has the boxes checked better than RPI. Like the team play, the mechanics, the utility, utilizing the terrain. It seems like Champlain is just like fundamentally playing the game of Valorant better.
RPI,
Can't use now.
Webby picking off Auntie J, but Moses getting Webby.
Spike
Teal
down.
Okay.
picking off Brandon. Moses trading
Here we
Teal
go,
out.
Moses.
This is a real opportunity for RPI. I mean, Teal's been a real thorn in their side for this entire climb
Yeah.
through the
I mean-
maps. Joey picking off Fasud and B main, unaware that 2 players are tree. Sebi sitting in the corner of A heaven, telling
Yeah.
where to plant. They probably won't expect this. If they plant safe, he won't be able
Yeah,
to
but
do
I mean,
much.
Sebi, he's in a corner here. He's like, oh, but Diggy manages
but
to take him
manages to,
out.
Diggy does manage to pick off Sebi.
Yeah, that's
Phantom moment.
yeah, that's exactly what they needed to clear the site for themselves, and now they have control and they're able to get the spike down.
Luxy waiting for Joey to flank through a main. He might have a timing on Diggy.
Yeah, and he's
Although
he's
with
gonna
the
wait.
op, Diggy managing to rotate out at just the right time.
I think they're gonna wait to
Luxy
peek at the same time. Ready for this? Luxy from Heaven, OG from Arches. Double peek comes out. Unsuspecting Diggy goes down. Now it's a 2v1. OG advancing, Luxy advances, and that's exactly what I mean. They don't peek. Like if they peek, it's at the exact same time.
Champlain really playing some textbook Valorant
Yeah.
together, and really just using their year of experience together in their past games, and just really playing
They
as a
have
team.
so much synergy.
RPI just, they're a little bit lost right now on how to play against this sort of team play. They have the right idea in, again, taking that map control. They're doing well with that. They're doing well with catching Champlain a little bit off guard sometimes, and I mean,
And it's really just Moses.
winning their gunfights, but Champlain just
Like I really only think it's Moses that's catching anyone on Champlain off guard, and it makes me wonder, like, if RPI had a team full of players like Moses, maybe they could get something done. And I'm sure Moses is asking, "Hey team, where are we right now?" As both players of RPI just peek right into the embrace of OG, he's able to just two-tap both of them.
They needed to swing that together because Joey has that delay on the op. It's not a chamber op. Teal
there goes Moses, right in the middle of the high.
Auntie J picking off Luxy, a little bit of a troll pick with the Odin. But like I was saying, Joey Teal with Fasud.
Flash comes out, and
Joey
like,
with
look
3.
at that. Like
I don't really know what to say.
Well,
I mean,
I think a good way to put it is, like, we saw 2 double peaks there. Like, at the end of the round, we saw that from, like, Webster and OG at the end of the round. Through the flash, right when the flash comes down, OG peaks. Meanwhile, RPI, like, in the middle of the round, 2 of their players peaked one at a time, and OG just 2-tapped them. I think that tells us about how each team is, like, playing with each other. It tells us how each team is playing with their teammates.
Looking at this a little bit more, I'm seeing that RPI's utility doesn't seem to be supporting each other quite as well as Champlain is. I mean, the Prowler going out, it confirms one, Joey ready for the advances of Auntie J,
such a good like use of the information the Prowler gives him. Like the Prowler lets OG know.
Off Teal with a nice shot though through dice.
Yeah, like the Prowler lets OG know that there's no like someone around the corner, and he doesn't have to peek the angle. He just waits for someone to walk into his line of sight.
Diggy picking off Sebi. It is now just Joey and Luxy. And Joey seems clearly ready.
Contact
Diggy
here.
clearly aware that somebody could have pushed up with a nice pre-fire, but just...
Yeah, Diggy jiggle peeked it, and he probably had to land that shot there when he first peeked.
The crosshair placement for OG just...
superior.
He just doesn't even have to move his mouse to hit that shot. I mean, that's just experience coming into play.
Exactly. That was a nice little mechanical
it really is just the OG and Teal show right now. 17-4 and 15-2. There's not a whole lot that Diggy can do.
Yeah, Moses has the pistol here. I'm assuming he has his ultimate.
Sebi, I think they're gonna use Luxy's haunt to see if they can get any spots through the wall, and then Sebi's just gonna blast them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Get out of my way.
Oh, Jet
lined up.
Coming through, they might not.
Sebi's been detected though. Blasting straight through the brick wall. Pete comes out.
Picking off one. RPI's Jet is all the way in
Yeah, he's
Boathouse.
able to trade. I'm looking at Moses here. The Jet, if Moses needs to make a play happen, in a play he does. He manages to pick up Teal. He rushes straight onto Sebi.
Diggy picks off Sebi with a little bit of help from Moses. OG picking off Auntie J. It's now 2v3 to the way of RPI.
Yeah, OG coming in from mid here. It was a factor that RPI didn't factor in. OG on the retake.
Coming out as well completely. Or that was a knife, I think.
He's getting tagged up through the wall there. A little bit of contact.
Attacker Killjoy.
Okay.
Maybe not quite getting stunned, but Joey.
Yeah, that's good information.
Detained. That is unfortunate for Joey right there. He has to sit there for another 3 or so seconds before he can do anything. He's back.
Webby's flash is going to come out. And
Joey
OG
spots one. Moses picks him up. Joey knows where one of them is. Back of sight. Moses with 3 with the Odin.
Yeah, I think RPI...
Finally using some aggression to really take a sight from Champlain. I mean, like this Bidoof right in front of us. It's like you're holding it and they just snatched it away from Champlain.
Yeah,
finally using some aggression to get some kills on the boards and really using a little bit of better utility to get space on site. I'm quite impressed with, after everything I've seen, RPI seemingly using that Jet ult and that updraft to pull attention away from the rest of the team. That's how the duelist should be entering, pulling the crosshairs of the defenders away from the rest of the team coming in. And that's how you really enter onto sites. That was really good by RPI.
Spotted out early, he has to back off. OG has this cross angle here. He's going to peek a little aggressively. He's going to play this corner here.
Still sitting just inside of his teleporter.
He's going to spray through, but I think that gives his position away.
Just inside of his teleporter during logs. Fasud getting a nice shot on Webby.
Yeah, that was a nice shot.
They have some good mid control now. What will they do?
Yeah, that was a nice early pick
gets spotted by the drone, but not quite tagged up. Early fate shells to try and deny any quick pushes. Joey.
OG's going to peek. Doesn't manage to find one, but he knows that there's at least one around the corner. But Auntie J, I don't think they know that he could be behind behind Moses right now.
They're pushing through market. Joey has to hear this. Sebi picks up one.
Yeah.
Brandon picks up Joey. Luxy picks up Auntie J.
Yeah.
Luxy caught with util in his hands.
That's exactly what we want to see from RPI. We talk about peaking at the same time, making your engagements at the same time. That's what RPI did there. They engaged at the same time. They established a crossfire that gave them control of the point now. Now it's a 2v3 retake for Champlain.
Teal and Sebi. Sebi with some really good utility to use for a retake. World Divided will split the site in half, although RPI Sova will catch Sebi, distracting him. Teal manages to dodge the rest, shoots out the nade.
I think Sebi had to play a little slow there.
Coming through, doesn't manage to tag him. Diggy ready for the engagement, picks up
There
Teal
we go.
for a nice 9-3 half. You heard of the 9-3 curse, Kevin?
I haven't. What is it?
It's when you hit 9-3. It's a reverse sweep.
Okay, so maybe
RPI seemingly on the good end of the 9-3 curse. We will see if it comes to fruition for them, but as it stands right now, Champlain with a sizable lead coming into the attacking side. We'll see how RPI's defensive half handles, but this does clearly seem to be like a better map for them. They do seem to be a lot more confident, a lot more stable, a lot more fluid with their movements. I think it was first map jitters, I'm gonna be honest.
But at the same time, they're down so many rounds here. But I think that last round gives us a glimmer of hope. It shows us exactly what RPI needs to be doing. They need to be making their engagements at the same time. They need to be more disciplined with their engagements when they peak. And if they do, might just be able to
see Haven.
Yeah, honestly.
I wouldn't mind seeing RPI take this map off of Champlain, you know, taking each other's maps away from each other.
Luxy's just pushing on right on through with the pistol rounds here.
RPI knows there's a bunch of attention on A, 3 stacked on the A site.
Yeah, they back off arches. OG just storming in here, full control, able to walk in. Teal manages to pick up one, and they're just rampaging on the point here. I feel like RPI just let them walk in there.
They played a little bit. I mean, on pistol round, it's not a bad idea trying to play for like hold angles, but with the crosshair placement and experience of Teal and OG, they just placed their like look at that. Almost hitting Brandon through the wall with the ghost, picking up one. Moses picks off OG. Moses picks up Webby for Luxy in the right spot to pick off Moses. Good attempt by RPI to take that retake back.
Yeah,
Moses especially picking off two.
I like what I'm seeing from Moses on the side of RPI, but I think the rest of the players, they need to start pulling a little bit more of their own weight, because Moses on this jet, he's getting the frags he needs for his team, but it seems like the rest aren't really there right now. There's a good pistol round though. I think there's still a few pistols here on that side of RPI for this round. That seems like
playing with a gamble stack towards A. They're gamble stack towards A and mid. If RPI takes this B market control really quickly, which they seem to be doing, they could have sight. Or
Spitfire play coming out from Champlain.
I got that mixed up. RPI had the stack. They seem to be going for a quick A mid take. Champlain sticking the bomb down on B quickly, but it's a 4-on-5 to the side of RPI. RPI has all 5 players ready for this retake. Drone coming out. Sebi catching his elbow.
Yeah, Brandon deploys his recon drone there, but it was kind of in a rough spot. He was so close to Sebi that Sebi saw his arm and was able to pick him off.
Diggy getting one onto Webby. Fasood getting onto Sebi. Luxy catching Fasood again with the trade. It's a 2v3. Teal on half HP.
Yeah, nice
catches Diggy. 2v2. Luxy. Low health.
Yeah, he's getting low.
Trusting
throws
Teal
the haunt
to
over.
catch him. Paint shells come in, spotted.
And,
Teal picks up 3.
I feel like RPI, they should have came in from, like, they stacked on their angles they're pushing through there, right? Like, I feel like they could have had a 1-1 split on the other angle, maybe.
They could have gone stairs and lane. Yeah, that would have been a little bit of a better push for them, but there's not a whole lot you can do mid-game. It's just, you gotta, I think they'll have to demo VOD this. They'll have to look at this, see what their mistakes were.
Yeah, definitely.
But, no, this is definitely, I did like the gamble towards A and mid. That was a smart play. I mean, they did catch one of Champlain's members who was sitting, I think, Dice or B main on an early flank, catching them off guard, but just was not able to bring the round to fruition in the way that they wanted, and just
yeah, I think Moses is at least feeling himself. He's the only one here that's taking a Marshall or taking a sniper here.
Quickly onto site. Nate's back site.
Yeah.
Blast pack peeks into the Sova. Brandon going down with help from Luxy's
confidence-filled rush onto B.
Picks up Auntie J, gets caught in the KO nade.
Yeah, Luxy gets tagged up. He backs off though. Once they have full control of site.
OG with 2 quick kills onto Fasood.
Yeah, they're just gonna surround Moses.
And now they're just hunting.
Can he get a
going
knife
for a
kill?
knife. Yeah, they went for the
Folino's
knife.
flawless with the knife finish. We're hungry.
Folino's flawless with a knife finish. That is something that I didn't think I'd see today, Kev.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not one to normally cut up my pizza with a knife. I
Wow,
usually
that
go
scoreboard is lopsided. 24-6, 20-6, and the rest of Champlain in single digits. We know who took this game by storm.
Yeah.
They just really grabbed it. They've really like taken a hold of this game, Teal and OG, and there's not a whole lot that really any of the players, regardless of whether you're on Champlain or RPI, can do.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a little bit more sparks of hope from RPI this game, but you know, it hasn't been enough, right?
I wonder what their buy's looking like.
I saw 2 with light armor, 3 with heavy armor. I didn't see the guns.
They seem to have equivalent guns. Yeah, I think they do. They do seem to have the guns.
Unsuspecting Diggy.
Equal guns, but OG getting double peeking Diggy with help with the Prowler. Not much Diggy could do there. Facid getting Webby, but Teal trading him off with an A split coming in. Teal with the ult going
Satchel
up heaven.
straight in.
Sends it heaven. Catches Auntie J.
I
And
live for those.
4v2. 3v2.
Moses finds a pick. That was crucial. If they want to retake here, that's exactly what Moses needed to find.
They're gonna have a hard time clearing Teal out of tree, though. I don't think they're ready for that.
Yeah,
Teal
yeah.
catching Brandon and Teal getting a 4-piece onto Moses, finishing off the game.
I live for those, like the parkour satchel plays into an ultimate. I live for that stuff, dude.
Honestly, extremely difficult but well fought game by RPI for Ascent. Flashes of brilliance that didn't quite manage to come to fruition.
I think we saw glimmers of hope through Moses, but through the rest of the team,
there's not a whole lot RPI can do when the top 2 players on Champlain are both dropping 20 bombs, close to a 50 bomb just across the 2. That's difficult for RPI.
I heard that Joey peaked I think I heard from that he peaked like top 20 in beta. I know that. Yeah, I know that's a while ago, but that's.
And I know Teal's been radiant as well, but after that game, I think we're gonna throw it to a break, and we'll have an interview waiting for you once we get back. All right.
Yeah, definitely.
See you in a bit.